Oh, still Mills, what's the deal, man? Yo, I got a motherfucking surgery today, man. I'm getting a vasectomy done. I'm heading there right now. No more children for me, man. I'm no eye, no mouse, no more. I got one on the way. That little nigga be here next month. I'm good on this shit, man. So I've spread my seed enough. I'm tapping out right here. You dig? But peep game, man. I want to get into this shit, man. And that's outboxing once again, man. We got to talk about that, man. I really want to talk about Ellie Scotney, man, because I don't talk about her enough. I don't talk about female fighters enough, and it bothers me, man, because a lot of these like I'm still getting familiar with that, with the women in the sport, and I'm still getting familiar with the fighters up under 122 pounds, and I'm making an honest effort to familiarize myself with these fighters, because I feel like it's fucked up that they get held off pound for pound lists because we just refuse to do our homework and our research on them. So yeah, man, I'm getting familiar with them, and I'm getting more familiar with the women fighters of the sport as well. So Ellie Scotney is a woman who popped up on my radar some time ago, and I'm not even gonna cap, once again, a lot of the game I get from Ring IQ. Shout out to Julius, shout out to the panel, because he laces them with game as well, man. But I become familiar with a lot of these characters through him at the smaller divisions, and with the females. And when I heard him say he mentioned her first, and I just saw, like, because he he said her name, I was like, man, let me go and do my due diligence and look her up, or look out for her when she fights again. And sure enough, she fought, and I was really impressed with what I saw. Man. And then I've seen her I think last Friday was my third time seeing her fight, and for her to be able to do that to a reigning world champion. I think Mercado had that belt, what they say, like 8 years or whatever. For her to be that, to reign that long and get dominated in the fashion that she got dominated in, that's really impressive, man. And how she was able to do it was, I thought that was real remarkable. Her in and out movement, man, she kept Shorty off balance, walked her into punches, and it wasn't just that. What really impressed me, what overly impressed me, and not just with her, but just in other fights as well, but what overly impresses me with her is her ability to step in behind her jab and stand in the pocket, in the kill box, where you would think a fighter, with her fighting identity, that would be a no-fly zone for them. And she still finds a way to persevere. She finds a way to outland them, and she still protects herself defensively in close quarters like that, to where she's not taking a whole bunch of punishment. And if she did, she won't get hit more than once in the exchange. And usually she's going to be the one landing 2 and 3 or 4 in the exchange, man. I just think that shit was really good work. And that is the sweet science of there, right there. She is an embodiment of what it means to be, of the sweet science. Her, Shakur Stevenson, Usyk, you have to, you got to be able to be comfortable at all three distances, man, because you are not going to be successful if you come in front of an opponent. Because like I said, every opponent is not going to be deterred by movement and just not, sharp punching. Some motherfuckers, man, I ain't giving a fuck about none of that shit, and they just gonna mow you down. We saw that with Sky Nicholson and Tiaria Brown. I don't give a fuck about this movement that you're doing. You don't thump hard enough for me to, for me to respect it. So I'm gonna close distance and I'm gonna sting you. And when they start getting stung, they don't know how to deal with it, because being in that space is really uncomfortable and unsettling for them. It's not the same with her. She's the legitimate boxer puncher. I can't even say that she doesn't have the power, because she cut her. She's clearly a respectable puncher. And a sharp and precise puncher. And she has the footwork and the foot speed and, maneuverability to complement and further accent her punching capabilities, man. That girl is the truth. She is the fucking truth, bro. I've been impressed with Ellie Scotney, man, but I was really impressed with what I saw on Friday. I was really impressed. And now she holds 3 belts. 1 belt short of being undisputed. Man, y'all got to give Shorty her due. I got to give her her due. And it might be fucked up to say, but it might be the women who, lift the burden of this Euro bum narrative off of the European fighters, dog, because they are killing shit. They are killing shit. Her, Katie Taylor, let's talk about Katie Taylor, man. Like, let me say, I don't think Amanda Serrano got a damn thing to be ashamed of, man. I personally scored the first fight a draw. I made a video about it, after it happened a few years back. When I first saw Amanda, I'm like, oh, nah, because, just me once again being just, I've had to, recalibrate my, my level of thinking when it comes to boxing. But because I'm I'm a black American, I have this, I had a disposition when it came to fleet-footed fighters as well. People who can, fighters who can maintain distance and work behind their straight shots. I'm like, she ain't got nothing for no fucking Katie Taylor. I was wrong as two left feet. Because she was able to mow Katie Taylor down and cut her and do damage and significantly hurt her. Damn near dropped her. I'm like, oh, this is why. And I wasn't even mad watching the fight. I thought, man, like, I almost lost my voice watching that fight. My wife, why are you cheering for two women like that? Jealousy, all that goofy shit. I'm like, hey, watch what I'm watching and you'll understand. I'm like, this was a good fucking fight. This was an all-time great fight. They put on for the ladies. They put on for the ladies, man. So, she didn't have nothing to be ashamed of. The second fight, a lot of people feel that, Amanda Serrano won. A lot of people feel Amanda Serrano won the first fight. I personally don't think that she won the first fight, but I don't think Katie won the first fight either, man. I'm back and forth on that. Nah, Katie didn't win the first. Neither one of them won the first fight. The second fight, I just felt that, I don't know, because you can't ignore the punch stats, but I did feel like Katie Taylor was doing a better job keeping her off balance and landing the effective shots. And a lot of people was, they get in their feelings about her leading with her head or whatever the case. And I'm like, it's not necessarily her leading with her head. It's the conventional versus the southpaw stance. Naturally, you're going to cause, those are usually the fights that cause the most clashes. Because y'all both leading to, when y'all go and, y'all step in with y'all, y'all step in with y'all behind y'all lead hand. When y'all slip, 9 times out of 10, you slip into the, your lead foot. And because your lead foot and your opponent's lead foot is, bumped up against each other, that's going to cause head clashes. Because y'all are both slipping and, cutting angles and shit to your lead foot. It's it's less, it's less taxing, on your stamina. You slip to your lead foot. When you spin out on your lead foot and pivot on your lead foot, it's less taxing. You do everything with your lead foot because your back leg is what anchors you, man. And so when that happens, you're gonna get head clashes. And they got a lot of there was a lot of head clashes, and they was complaining about that. And as they should be, they had every right to complain about it. But the thing is, it wasn't intentional, man. Like, Katie's not no dirty fighter, bro. I don't fuck with nobody say she's not a dirty fighter. But that fight was entertaining as well, and it was a lot of people who had something slick to say about it, and they was aggravating Katie because it's like, yo, they saying that you a dirty fighter, and they, shit. After that fight, before that fight started, my baby brother hit me, was like, man, tell your girl no, kill all that head, all that head button in this fight. I'm like, fuck out of here, all right, nigga, whatever. But they got the fight done, and boom, voila, here we are, man. And I won't disagree with anybody who said Amanda Serrano won the fight because the punch stats just don't lie. But I think the more effective work came from Katie Taylor and her ability to just keep Amanda off balance. I was like, I had Katie winning the second fight, and maybe I should go back and watch the second fight. But I had Katie winning that fight. And then going into the third fight, I just felt that they was gonna be hell bent on giving Amanda Serrano that fight, and I feel like a lot of rounds that the unofficial scorecards were scoring for Amanda, I'm like, she's not winning. She didn't win that round. Now both of them up until like the midway point of the fight, or maybe even, going into the midway point of the fight, neither one of them really wanted to fully commit to their shots. They wanted to, they just, both of them didn't want to make any mistakes. They didn't want to leave it, they didn't need any more controversy surrounding the fight. Both of them wanted to make a statement on who was going to win this fight. So that caused a little bit of apprehension between the two of them, at least with Katie. With Amanda, I think that she fought the wrong game plan. You dig? Those two game plans got you a draw, in my personal opinion, and a controversial loss in your second fight. So I didn't think that you needed to switch anything up. I feel like that formula was working for you. You know what I'm saying? Despite you losing, that was the only logical formula. Because you can't, just her fighting identity is that of a pressure fighter, bro. She can't box with Katie Taylor. She can't box with Katie Taylor. I think Katie Taylor is she's sharper. She's a sharper fighter from that, from that range where you have to use your feet. She's faster on her feet than you as far as getting in and getting out. She's faster on her feet than you cutting angles behind, hooking off of those angles and spinning out. Not necessarily hooking off of those, creating angles in the pocket to do damage. Nah, her game is the long game. You dig? Mid-range, around about mid-range. That's Katie Taylor's, that's her sweet spot right there. So I'm like, you can't win. And because of that, she was keeping her off balance. Because of that, she was spinning her with the check left hook. Because of that, she was able to land right hands down the pipe with consistency. I didn't like that she abandoned her, her fighting identity to try and take on a new. You're not going to beat Katie Taylor in that. You can't beat her like that. You can't beat her like that. I felt like she needed to just stay, stick to your fighting identity. And, step into the kill box and force Katie Taylor into them exchanges, which she's already proven that she can do. So why not do it again? Why not do it again? But even then, it was still a competitive bout. And a lot of people felt like Amanda Serrano won that fight as well. So she ain't got a motherfucking thing to be, hang her head low about, like, nah, man, she is an all-time great. Is she the greatest from Puerto Rico? She got an argument, you dig? She might be the baddest one to come up off that island. And this time she has to be held in the same light as Miguel Cotto and Benitez and what's my man name? I just had his name. Tito. And she has to be held up in that same esteem. Funeral procession. Oh man, rest in peace to whoever that is. Rest in peace. Oh, them is people. Them is brothers too. Funeral procession, for a biker club up here. I'm about to be late to my appointment. They about to be mad at me, but hey, it is what it is. But she did her shit, man. She did her shit, and I'm not mad at Katie, man. Not Katie, but Amanda. She has nothing to be ashamed of. That was a great, all-time great trilogy, bro. That was an all-time great trilogy. All-time great. Neither one of them touched the canvas, but that first fight, it kind of mirrors the Gotti Ward trilogy. That first fight was insanity. And the fact that they was able to do that shit, and, on the level that they did it on, pack out Madison Square, that shit is just it was an all-around win for women's boxing. All-female undercard, it was an all-around win for women's boxing, man. And just for y'all to cap that off in that way that y'all did, you gotta salute it. You gotta salute it, man. So I just think Amanda has nothing to be ashamed about. But what I want to highlight Katie Taylor, because once again, that is how you outbox. Outboxing ain't just fucking straddling the rope and using your feet to stay out of the field of combat. Pecking away at a win. That's not the sweet science, bro. That's not the sweet science. And that doesn't show versatility when you can do that. That doesn't show versatility that you can do that, man. What Ellie and Katie did and what Shakur did, that is how you outbox. That is how you use your feet to set traps. Sharpening your instincts in the pocket to protect yourself when you have no other choice but to fend this dude off you by planting your feet. That is outbox. That was a beautiful display of outboxing, what we saw all last weekend. That is how you do it. So I think I just really want to congratulate them and really shine a light on them. I already said what I had to say about Shakur. Kid is immaculate. You dig? I already said what I had to say about him. I want to commemorate the ladies. That is how you do it. It shouldn't be. Men biologically are supposed to be we're supposed to be the leaders. You dig? We're supposed to be leading the charge. The women shouldn't be showing y'all how to outbox and use your feet, the proper way to use your feet. They did that, man, and they did that shit very well. I loved every minute of what I saw. That was an incredible showing from Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. That was an incredible showing from Ellie Scotney. Salute to them, man. Salute to them. And I urge anybody who adopts that style of fighting, man, study them. Study them. Study Sugar Ray Leonard, man. Study Roy Jones. Study these dudes, man, who use their feet, but they ain't shook to engage. This freeze tag shit is, it's just gotten to a point where it's out of control, man. Like I said, if you think the only way to win a fight is by using your feet, go watch Taekwondo or Kyokushin or something like that. Go do that. Because boxing just ain't the thing for you, man. Because since when is using your feet more important than using your hands? Because this is what you score with. You score with these. Your feet is just simply an additive to what it is that you're supposed to be able to do with your hands. It's supposed to complement your hands, but this is what you score with, not your feet, man. So shout out to Katie, shout out to Ellie, man. Y'all did an impeccable job. I'm looking forward to your next fights. I don't know what's next for Katie Taylor. They're talking about retirement. We could see could we get a trilogy with Chantel Cameron? I would love that fight as well, and that's another fight right there that you got to show love to, because she stood in the pocket in the fray with a girl that was bigger than her and took all of her belts from her, making her a 2-division undisputed world champion, bro. There's nothing you can say about Katie Taylor. She is the GOAT, dog. She the GOAT when it comes to the ladies, bro. We just got to be real about that, man. Her contributions to the sport are kind of, unmatched. You dig? So I don't know if she goes for. I think that fight right there would be the last hurrah for her before she rides off into the sunset. I know Alicia Baumgartner is calling her out, but that fight more than likely isn't going to happen. It's more than likely not going to happen, and it shouldn't have to. So go finish out the trilogy with Chantel Cameron. Y'all 1-1 as is. And go ahead and hang your flag up and just become an ambassador for women's boxing. And you've done more than enough to pay your dues. Ellie Scotney, I don't know what's going on with her next. I don't know if they're going to try and go for that last belt. I'm not sure. I hope they do, though. I hope they do. I really hope they do. Because I don't want her legacy being held up because a motherfucker's scared to get in the ring with her. Nah, man. Let's go ahead and get that last, let's go ahead and get that last strap up out the way. And yeah. But that's pretty much how I'm feeling about it, man. Y'all pray for a nigga. I'm about to go in here and get my nuts snipped. So I'm signing out for the time being. I'm going to probably be too fucked up in the game to come back on here in the next couple of days and do a video on what's happening this weekend. But if I'm not, I'm going to holler at y'all about them festivities, y'all. Deuces.